everyone, it's Preston here with Citizen Response, and today we have a video for you talking about the Glock 48. It's an interesting gun, definitely an interesting gun. I was shooting today. I tried filming this part from the range, but my phone kept overheating because it was 106 degrees out today. But hey, no excuses, we got to train. You know, I try to train at least once or twice a month. You know, I'm a college student, don't have a ton of money, but try to get at least 50 to 100 rounds in a month. But onto the Glock 48. It's an interesting gun. It kind of fits into its own category. I'm not really sure what to classify it as. It's a subcompact, but it's bigger than your typical subcompact like the 43X or the Springfield Hellcat or 365, and it shoots bigger than it is. It's snappy, but it's not completely unshootable snappy like some of the other small guns are. So I'll go ahead and show it to you now. I have it on. And it's an interesting gun. That's how I would classify it. Obviously, look, it's a Glock. We're talking about just bare bones, pure reliability. No issues in that department. I've got about a little over 1,000 rounds through it now. And this gun is completely stock, other than the stipple job that I did to myself. It ain't the prettiest thing in the world, but it works. And the Ameriglow night sights that I've got on here. This gun has been safety checked. It's clear. I'm gonna weigh the 48 on its own merits. I'm not gonna compare it to any other guns in this video. That'll be a future video. I'm not really sure the kind of person that looks for this gun, but it kind of fits its own category that I think really only this gun and maybe the P365 XL fit into, where if you're a guy that likes to carry a Glock 19 or a Glock 17 and you want something that's a little bit more slim, you want to slim down, cut some weight, this might be the gun for you, because it really does shoot like it's bigger than it really is. I mean, it's a very thin gun. My favorite part about it being the full-length grip, so I can get a full firing grip on the gun, full support grip. If you've seen my 43X video, you know I hate having my pinky off and having to reload and all that stuff. Just don't really like it. So this feels like a full-size gun to me, just slimmed down in a thinner package. I'm not a big guy. I'm about 5'7", 150 pounds. But this gun just feels great in my hand. I mean, anybody who picks up one of these Glock 48s or 43Xs knows, man, they just feel good in your hand. But this gun, the 48, really shoots like something else. It shoots with one hand. It shoots so well. I mean, compared to the other subcompacts I've shot that are just difficult to hold on to or point, this gun points so naturally. It's hard to describe. I recommend, if you know someone who has one or have a range that does rentals, go rent this gun and just try. Compared to the other guns in its size category, it shoots so well with one hand. Obviously, it shoots great with two hands. If you have a Glock 19, it's a little bit snappier than a Glock 19. Not quite as smooth, not quite as soft shooting as a Glock 19, but it's closer to a full-size gun than a subcompact in my opinion. Now, obviously, I addressed the reliability, a little over 1,000 rounds, perfectly, ran perfectly fine, no malfunctions. I have been running these with just the standard OEM magazines. I have the Shield Arms mags. I don't carry them, and I have the standard mag release, so I don't want to chew it up by running the S15s in here. And I like training with what I carry. I just carry the 10-round magazine and then a spare 10-round magazine. I have a full video on my Concealment Setup. This is basically the same. The only difference between that, same belt, is the holster. Almeida custom holsters and Alpha Omega Kydex are the two holsters that I have. And then I've got this little hack on here that I do. I take a Dr. Scholl's heel wedge thing you put in a shoe, and I Velcro it to here, and it really makes this gun comfortable. That's the only thing I was worried about with this gun, was the extra barrel length. That's why I love the 43X so much, is the barrel short. I don't have to worry about it poking me when I sit down and stuff like that. This, with the Dr. Scholl's wedge, pushes it just a little bit off your body, that the pressure is now confined to that wedge, and you don't have the full Kydex, just kind of sharp. Even if it's not sharp, even if the edges are well rounded off, as a good holster should, it's just not fun having that plastic digging into you and poking into you. And I don't have any issues You gotta make sure you got a good enough ride height so it sits high enough that it's not hanging down super low and you can get a good firing grip. But I haven't had any issues. I actually drove all the way from Texas to Virginia and back, and I was carrying the whole time, and I was thinking this is gonna be a good test for the comfort of this gun and this holster setup. And it was perfectly fine. I didn't have any issues whatsoever, which I was surprised about. I was like, this is gonna be the nail in the coffin. I'm going back to the 43X whenever I do this, but hey, it was perfectly fine, and I don't have any issues. And I shoot this gun a little. I'm gonna do a separate video about the 43X versus 48, so I'm not gonna get into that here. The majority of the rounds that I put through this gun, because I've only had this gun for about 2 months, so some normal people will be like, holy crap, 500 rounds a month. That's not normal for me. I took an Achilles Tactics performance pistol class, which was a level 2 class, level 3. It was a more advanced class. It wasn't, a basic handgun course. And I was genuinely surprised with this gun. I mean, I was competing against, well, I say competing, obviously everybody's there to grow on their own, develop on their own. But you kind of see how you stack up and compare to the other shooters. And I was one of 2 or 3 guys running appendix and concealed carrying at the class. And I was, holding my own against these guys with, obviously I can't compete against someone with an RMR and a 2011, like a Triarch 2011 or a Staccato or something like that. But, I was impressed. I was able to hold my own and keep up with the class. And I was really impressed. This gun shot so well. It did not shoot. It wasn't snappy. It shot like a mini full-size gun is what I best compare it to. So I put 650 rounds through that gun in one day in this class. The round count said 800. I was like, bro, there's no way I'm shooting 800 rounds in one day. The most I'd ever shot before was 500 rounds in a day, and that's a lot. Put 650 through this gun in one day. No hiccups, no malfunctions. It was perfectly fine. And it was comfortable to shoot all day. Usually you shoot all day with a subcompact and you don't enjoy it and your hands kind of ache and because you're gripping that thing so tight. Obviously I do chop up my thumb a little bit because I get such a high grip on the pistol to control the recoil. But other than that, I mean, it shot great. I wasn't too fatigued at the end of the day or anything like that. And it was just awesome. It was a really good experience. And I'm glad I ran it concealed. I'm glad that I used the 48. So now the question is, why should I buy this gun? Who should buy this gun? We kind of addressed earlier about, if you carry a bigger gun. But honestly, if you carry a subcompact and you're looking for something a little bit bigger but don't want to make the jump all the way up to a Glock 19 or like a SIG P320, I would recommend trying this out and try out the Shield Arms Max for yourself. I mean, being able to take this and carry 15 rounds in this gun, it's awesome. It's not a full size, but it's so close. In my opinion, obviously people are gonna have different experiences. People have different strength levels, different experience levels. I don't know, it's an interesting gun, but I really enjoy shooting it. Hey, I appreciate everyone who watched the video. I really hope that you guys have a blessed day, and I hope the Lord blesses you in your life. Whether you're able to see it or not, God's working in each and every one of y'all's lives in some way. Go out and have a great rest of your day.